Hello boxing fans, how are we all doing tonight? And welcome back to Andy's Cavern for another exciting episode. What do you think of my top? Hey, my hat as well. Got that today. A nice present from my pal Chris Henderson. Thank you, Chris. And his pal Aaron. onthetops.co.uk. Makes t-shirts, hats, hoodies, you name it. Good guy. So look up onthetops.co.uk for all your t-shirt needs and stuff like that. Have a look. Yeah. So we're all well out there, I hope. We start winds died down, Blowing a hoolie it was there over the weekend or a couple of days ago. Nah, not the best. No weather for doing anything, is it? Moving forward, I was having a few boxing thoughts tonight. This is just my thoughts of what could happen. I'm not saying this is what will happen, but this is what could happen, in my humble opinion. I think Anthony Joshua, I think they'll stick him in with a can man. Dillian White. Anyone who wants it can get it, apparently. But to me, he's done in the game. So after the Dubois shock, well, it wasn't a shock to a lot of us, but it's a shock to Anthony Joshua, wasn't it? The big shock to him. He needs a wee bit of rebuilding, doesn't he? Can't he just go sticking him straight in with anybody like Martin McCauley or anything like that, because I could just see the same thing happening again. So they've got to do a wee bit of rebuild. So I think White's a good option for that. White's done, and I want to see White out the game. So there's a job for Anthony Joshua. Get White out the game. You could call that a rehab fight, probably. And then after that, I think Turki Al Sheikh, with Fury out the game now, is so-called retirement. I think he mentioned Wilder, so I think they'll stick him in with Wilder. I don't see them putting near Bakoe. I think Wilder also is done, so I don't see... They'll probably see him as a safer bet than sticking him in with Bakoe. I don't see Eddie Hills rushing to stick him in with Bakoe. But you never know, after that, that might happen. They might do a cash-in with a big fight in Africa at the old stadium where the Rumble in the Jungle was held, So that would have a bit of attraction, a bit of theatre about it. That's if Anthony Joshua can beat White and Wilder, which I think he probably could if he gets his head in the right place. Then Bakoe versus Ajigba. I think the winner of that, well, you didn't want to look past, get too ahead of ourselves. Count your chickens before the hatch, because anything can happen in heavyweight boxing, as we know. But I think Bakoe will do a number on Ajigba, and I think the winner will then fight maybe for the IBF title, which possibly might be vacant if the winner of the Dubois or Parker. And that's no foregone conclusion either, but the winner of that, we're talking about fighting Usyk. So you might find, but if I think if Bakoe wins, you might find he doesn't get the title shot straight away. They might stick him in with somebody else. Don't forget you've got Zhang and what do you call him? His name's gone out my head. It's getting late. It's getting late again. I'll have his name. Ajit Kabayel. I didn't even find it there. It's just come back to me. So you've got the winner of Kabayel and Zhang. So you might find the winner of Bakoe and Ajigba fights the winner of Kabayel and Zhang. I could see that happening. And the winner of Parker Dubois will fight Usyk. And then the winner of that will probably fight, let's just say it's Bakoe and Kabayel. Say they fight. I think the winner of that might then fight Usyk. Or something along those lines. That's what I'm thinking. Because I think Usyk can have a couple of fights and that'll be him done. Just to cement his legacy, I think that's what he'll be doing there. And then I also think Moses Atumo, I think they'll stick him in with Kubrat Pulev in March. I heard Bricktop mentioning March for Moses being out next, so I can see that's what's going to happen. That gives him a wee cushion if somebody's injured in training or that, doesn't it? Because I think it's May the 19th is the date he's got to become a champion by, to beat Mike Tyson's record as the youngest ever heavyweight champion of the world. So we'll see what happens there. I think Atumo would do Pulev. Pulev's 43-year-old, way past his best. He was a big rough tough guy in his day. He probably is a big rough tough guy, but he'll not win any match for Atumo with his Atumo comes across as really composed and chilled out, and it's like he's got an old head on young shoulders almost. I like him. He goes about, he doesn't mess about, and I think he's taking the game very seriously. And I think he is the next big thing. I think he's a real deal. A lot of people are saying, well, no, what happens till he gets hit on the chin, but that's true with any fighter that's coming up. So, but we'll wait and see. But I've never heard any bad story. Everything you hear about him's positive, you know, from all the people that sparred him and whatnot. So to me, I think he's as real as a real deal can be at his age and as a prospect. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's a good story. I think he's going places. But I don't. Turkey Al Sheikh was on about him fighting Usyk at some point, but I think Usyk will be retired by the time he comes up. It's almost 20-year age difference, isn't it? 18-year age difference, I think there is. That's not to say that fight won't happen, but I personally don't think that will happen. But Usyk's going to become a footballer when he retires. Apparently, he's got a contract with some Ukrainian football team, so good on him. I'm sure he'll be every bit as good at that as he is boxing, because he just strikes you as one of the guys that can do anything, almost anything. So, and he's very likeable, personable, and he's a good role model as a heavyweight champion for up and coming youngsters. You never hear him saying foul-mouthed explicits or anything like that, do you? He's the kind of guy you want as a champion. Andy does the business in the ring as well, doesn't he? He's pretty faultless. So, but personally, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. But in a lot of cases, champions are more appreciated after they retire. I think that was the case with Lennox Lewis. He's far more appreciated now than when he was actually a champion. But people tend to forget that, don't they? But okie dokie, so that's just a quick episode tonight from me. I've got an early start tomorrow, so I'll be getting off to my bed. So hope you're all well out there, guys, and I'll try and get some more content done through the week. I had a busy week last week, so I didn't get to do as much as I'd liked to done. So hopefully this week I'll have a wee bit more time. I do have a few jobs on cars to fix this week, so get my son's car up in tip-top condition. But that's weather providing, isn't it? So it's all weather dependent if you're fixing cars outside. Andy's curbside motors, but it's all good fun. Okay guys, that's all for tonight. Until the next time, be happy and be healthy. Take care. Cheers.